Hello, welcome back to another Agency Connect podcast. From where it all began, I am at Inbound 2022. God help us, we're all back in person again. I'm here with Josh Lothman, who's not at Inbound because he's too busy working from the ad tutor. How are you doing, Josh? Thanks for being here.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, maybe next time you can be out here. We'll buy you a drink. I'm so
It'd
excited
be
to be
fun.
actually somewhere. I don't even know what to do anymore. Do you like bump elbows, shake hands? You just lick your hand, you just rub someone's face. I don't know what you're supposed to do anymore.
That's
It's
that's the way to
confusing.
do it, actually. You nailed it.
Now we're blood brothers.
Quick way to
Uh,
lose all your friends.
uh, if only, if only. I dream of being canceled so I could retire. Okay, so we have you here. So Josh Lothman has a great agency and business. Is now named the ads tutor, and he's done something that I totally never expected anyone to do, but it's working really well for Josh, and I love that because there's more than one way to be successful. The ads tutor, what he's done is instead of taking on clients as a priority, him doing the work, he's taken all his know-how and he's teaching and coaching his clients to do the work for themselves, and that's like turns out to be way more lucrative, which is amazing. So Josh, thanks for being here on the podcast. Well, why don't you introduce yourself and explain it the way you want to explain?
Yeah, so I'm Josh. I've created the Ads Tutor, and so we do Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn ads. We're very narrowly focused on those platforms just because they really drive a lot of revenue and are very powerful. And we do management of those platforms like a traditional digital marketing agency would, but we also do tutoring, like Sunir mentioned. And so we teach small business owners how to, run Facebook ads, run Google ads to drive their marketing goals. So how to create campaigns, retargeting audiences, and how to actually drive leads, drive profit and revenue and sales from those campaigns.
So this is completely antithetical to what most agencies do. Is they bring out as much labor services out of any given client as they can. But here you flipped it, and you're trying to get the client to do as much work for themselves as they can, and that's really working. So what? Why does this work?
I think that from the client's perspective, they love that it's just a one-time fee rather than being locked into an expensive agency retainer where they do all the work and you keep paying them for forever. And then from our perspective, we really like to do the teaching. It's something that we enjoy and we're really good at it. So we are all really high level experts in this field and make sure that everyone who does tutoring and management has at least 10 years of expertise in any of these platforms. And so, we love teaching and getting out all of that knowledge that we have, and I think it's been really fun to see the return on investment for these clients. So not having to rely on an agency and doing it all yourself makes the client really proud and really excited when they're starting to actually drive leads and revenue from a platform that they really didn't know a whole lot about before we started working together. So I just think that ROI that they're seeing and the excitement of being able to get in there and do it themselves has been almost addictive.
So from a nitty gritty point of view, I mean, we're talking about the business of agencies. First, when you say we, is it just you, or you have other people working on this with you, or how are you
For the most
managing?
part, it's
How do you
just me,
manage the
actually.
organization?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
actually
interesting.
just me for the
Yeah,
most part.
yeah, and it's like, and we're just talking before. It's trick because we were just talking about this before we start hit record. But it's a scalability trap we always talk about on this podcast. You were mentioning like the payroll. You didn't want to hire somebody, right? Is that
Mhm.
true? Is that why you didn't scale
Yeah, I'm trying to
your,
scale this
your staff?
agency as much as possible without having
Yeah, sorry, you
to
didn't scale
hire.
your staff. Yeah.
Yeah, without
Sorry.
without scaling the staff, exactly. So I'm trying to see how much revenue we can really do, um, yeah, without expanding it and bringing on a whole lot of more people, which is I think difficult to find, difficult to retain, and just a whole nother problem that I'm not too interested in jumping into.
Well, this is why we had to have you on, because what you've done is found a way to scale revenue without having to hire someone else into your agency. So you're maximizing the dollars for your own time with this flip of the script of teaching the clients rather than taking on the work. So let's just talk a little bit about the courses, sorry, the tutoring, and how they're packaged. Like, so what does a tutoring package even mean for a client? Like, what's the structure of it?
Yeah, so they're buying a 12-week program where we're going to work together one on one every week. And, we're going to talk over Zoom or video calls like this. And they're going to share their screen. They're going to be driving and doing everything. And I'm just going to be showing them exactly what I would be doing if I was the one actually managing those ads. So I'm showing them what to do, I'm explaining why we're doing it, and I'm giving them everything that's relevant to their specific success. So it's all completely customized to that client, to that company, their goals, their problems, their needs. And so that way, they can really extract the most value out of it. And we don't have to go into the nitty gritty of all these irrelevant things that this company might not be interested in doing. So we get to stay really focused on what's actually going to move the needle for this company.
And then, so in the 12 weeks, like, how much time are you putting into a client?
So we work for about an hour once a week. So we hop on a video call for an hour every week.
Oh, that's a pretty manageable time commitment. Like an hour a week. That's great. And then
Yeah,
are they buying it like per hour, or are they buying a package? Like, how are you commercializing?
yeah. They buy the 12-week package up front, and that's what I have found is kind of a sweet spot for getting all the content and campaign set up and seeing the success that I'm looking for that client to see before we part ways after the 12 weeks. So really the idea is that they are hitting their goals, they are driving leads and revenue with the campaigns that we built together all before those 12 weeks are over. And then I can step out and they can continue to scale their company using those ads and the skills that we taught them.
So when you take the package rate for the 12 weeks, divide by the 12, does that come up higher or lower than your hourly rate normally, or like
Def-
the rest of your
it's
business?
it's definitely higher than my management rate because we're able to really pack so much more value into that. So, maybe
That's
an
so
hour
interesting.
of my time managing your ads can get you, X amount of revenue or X ROI, but an hour of us managing your ads together and you learning those skills and translating them into more revenue in the future is just always going to be a higher ROI for the client.
So then you charge more money for that time
Yep. So I'm
as a
able to
result.
charge more for that because the ROI is so much higher.
That's so fascinating. And so then what happens? So you said you also have a managed services business. Like, how many? What is there a pipeline from the tutoring? Like, what happens after the 12 weeks?
There is, yeah. So, a lot of people after the 12 weeks, they got what they needed. They you started scaling their business. They are seeing a ton of new revenue and leads and growth, and they just, continue on without me. But there's definitely a percentage of people who want more classes because they enjoyed it so much or decide, you know what, I learned this great skill, but I'm actually not super interested in managing it myself. So they come on over to the managed services side.
Interesting. And then what would you say is the mix of your revenue, like percentage wise, between the tutoring and the managed services?
It's close to 50-50. It definitely swings in one direction or another as time goes on, but we're trying to move it more towards the tutoring side. So hopefully we'll have a lot more revenue coming from that and a lot more consistent basis in the future because that is where I
That's
want to
crazy.
move this agency to.
Yeah. And then And then from a time point of view, like what's the time investment per side, managed services versus tutoring?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably about 5 hours a month of my time servicing one tutoring student to one tutoring client, and definitely a lot more time investment when I'm doing the management services myself. So, it's definitely orders of
Wow,
magnitude less.
like super high leverage to
Hmm.
teach rather than do. Interesting.
Exactly.
And then are you? And is like every is the have you did you like how did you figure out what to teach? Like did you standardize the know-how? Like what did you do to package up your know-how for clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't standardize what I teach because I think every company has unique goals. Every company has a unique product or offer, and the way you go about scaling that business is going to be a little bit different. So, like I said before, we could make this maybe a 20 or 30 or 50 hour program and spend a lot more time and drag this out, learning all the different tools and ways that a company could use these platforms to grow. But I just thought keeping it really simple is definitely going to be the better way to do things. So I try to streamline the core services that these platforms can provide for a company. And so it's all tailored to that specific company. And I teach them exactly what they need to know to move the needle for their business.
That's interesting. And but it takes so much less time, and that's to even to customize it per client. That's so much more money per hour invested. I mean, if you're selling labor and your own labor, it's a great way to scale without having to hire somebody
Hmm.
is to teach. Who knew? I'm sure somebody knew. Not
We
me.
know now.
The Yeah, I do know. So what's next? Are you like gonna work on this? You say you're investing more in the tutoring. Are you gonna package it up even more? Get to courses? Like what are you doing next?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So the next step is a course. So pretty soon we're going to be releasing a Facebook ads course going through creating your business manager, setting up campaigns, driving leads, driving sales, and basically all the main components of Facebook ads that the average business is interested in. And so we're going to be selling that as kind of like an entry point into the ads tutor, and then hopefully some of those people will love the course so much that they're wanting a little bit more hands-on help and become tutoring clients.
That's interesting. And then so like commercially, you're building it's called teeth to tail, right? So or a funnel from you're building lower and lower cost entries with courseware, but then you convert them into the higher touch tutoring, and some of them you convert to higher touch managed services.
Hmm.
So the question is like, what keeps you doing managed services if these things are more lucrative? Is that like why would you continue doing that in the future?
If this course takes off, then I very well might stop managed services. But for right now, it's a very consistent fee due to that monthly retainer. So for
Hmm.
that reason, I do like that managed services offer. But like I said, it's definitely more time consuming and not the direction that we're trying to go in. So I could see that falling off or maybe being farmed out at some point.
And I don't mean to pry into your secrets here, but how are you acquiring clients? Is it like word of mouth, or are you actually doing online marketing yourself? Are they just coming in randomly? Like, because I think that would be the point where you transform the business is when you have a sustainable top of the funnel for the tutoring, right? So, are
Exactly.
you doing like, yeah,
So right now we're
sorry.
doing it's all pretty much word of mouth and referrals, which has been great. But now we're starting to invest in some software and some ads so that we can launch this course and be as successful as possible with it. And I think as we were saying, driving. Having ads drive course sales can start that lead gen engine for all the other services as well.
Well, that's been quite enlightening, Josh. I appreciate this. What a great way out of the trap by stop doing the work. Like, why do the labor? Get the clients to do the labor by teaching them your expertise. Like, that's so much more scalable.
It
Oh,
also
brilliant. I
it
love it.
also offloads some
Um,
of the pressure as well.
wow. Yeah, totally. I really appreciate it, Josh, telling us all your secrets and wizardry. How do people find you online? Like, where can they email you, LinkedIn? Where are all those things?
They can find us at theadstutor.com or the Ads Tutor or Josh Lothman on LinkedIn, and we're on the social medias as well. So come and check us out.
All the social medias. And
Not all of
Orcut.
them, the good ones maybe.
I'll tag you in Orcut. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Josh. I really appreciate this. I know next time, hopefully, I can get you a drink. So with that, I'll bid you adieu.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
For more great insights on partnerships and software, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.